Hi, everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about a communication strategy for community associations. So as a community association, you're really selling a vision of what's best for the community. How do you make the community better? You're not selling a product. In Google search, it's easy if you're just selling a product to use keywords about that product. But as a community association, it's much harder to find keywords that people might be searching for. So you really have to come up with a communication strategy to find other types of media to get the word out about your association. So let's explore that. So what are some of your communication tools? Certainly website and Facebook are the two big ones. And I like to think of a website as a library where you go to look for information, and the Facebook as kind of a daily newspaper. So in my opinion, you need both. They do serve separate functions. I know a lot of community associations, they just go with Facebook. But a website really isn't that difficult to set up, and it's also easy to keep up to date if you have the right tools. Some other communication tools are email, of course, and again, if you have members, you want to make sure you have a process in place to keep your member email addresses up to date with your email distribution list, and there's our ways of doing that. Community newspaper is one that you should take advantage of, or whether it's a letter to the editor, or whether it's adding an event to the newspaper event column. And if you write an article about a certain topic, you can approach the newspaper to see if they'll publish that as well. Surveys are a great vehicle. It's bi-directional communication. So you're basically telling the members that you're interested in a certain topic and you want to get their feedback on that topic. So it really empowers your members. It makes them feel like they have a voice in the direction of your community association. Of course, face-to-face meetings are absolutely the best. There's nothing like meeting people face-to-face. Next to that, if you're, say, a lake association and you want to hold a meeting in the spring or the fall or even the winter when the cottage residents aren't around, virtual meetings are very good nowadays, as well as webinars. So it's very easy to set up, and people can attend sitting in their own homes. They really like that. Posters around the community, certainly if you're having an annual general meeting or having a big event, put some posters up around the community. For emergency situations where you really need to get a hold of people quickly and make sure that they read it, cell phone SMS texts are very powerful. And of course, there's also other community groups. So if there are groups in your area that have a big membership, you can ask them to do a little article about you or add a link to their website. So that's another way of getting your association out there. One key thing to think about is who are your target audiences? Of course, your members are a big part of your association, and you want to target potential new members, of course. And that's always a difficult one. How do you grow your membership? And we'll look at some ways after, a little bit later in this video. And of course, lapsed members. So, you hate to lose a member. So make sure you have a process in place to reach out to them. At the end of the year, if they still haven't renewed their membership, make sure you have a way to reach out to them. And you may even conduct exit interviews. So if somebody says, no, you contact them in the end of the year and says, no, I'm not interested, find out why. Maybe there's an issue in your association that needs to be improved. And of course, you want to target people in the community, people in other organizations, or perhaps, your association targets a specific interest or demographic. So those are all things you need to consider when you look at your target audience. And, determining your target audience will help you develop a communication strategy that will specifically target those audiences. The next thing to consider is, what are you communicating? What are the things of interest to your members or to potential new members? So of course, there's, who you are, what you do, your vision and goals. Those are all pretty standard. But really think about what are the topics of interest to your members. And you can even go as far as ask your members, and that's where the survey tool comes in. And other things you should be communicating on a regular basis are events. And again, events is something that you can put up posters or put in, have the community newspaper put in their event column. Projects, of course, projects are big things, and they're certainly things that, your members are interested in, else, you wouldn't be starting the project. So again, that's another opportunity to really communicate about your bigger projects. Why are you doing them? What's the current status? What is the goal of that project? And what will people in the community see when that project is done? A list of resources is also handy. You see lots of websites that have a list of resources both in the community and available from other sources, other websites that are not in your community. There's all kinds of information out there. So if you can gather it and put it in one spot for your members so they don't have to go searching the wide world of the internet, then that really helps your members. And that's a good way to attract new members as well. If people are looking for a specific topic of interest, if they can go to your website and find all the answers in one spot, that's certainly a benefit to them and might encourage them to join your organization. The next thing to look at is, who does what? What is the process that you're using now for your communication strategy? Is it just one person, in which case, they can be a bottleneck if they're going on vacation? And you also have to worry about burnout, right? If one person is doing everything, they can get kind of tired of always being the go-to person. And again, do you have a written down strategy and process, or is it just kind of ad hoc? Some methods are having a communication lead, but again, this kind of tends to that is one person doing everything, right? So, if you can come up with a process where you're spreading the work around, you have individuals creating communication content, and if those individuals can do some of the work themselves, whether it's posting to Facebook or giving them the ability to easily update your website. They may be able to send out emails to your member list directly rather than asking somebody else to do it. So that's really where you want to get to, your individual content creators, and giving them the ability to distribute at least some of that communication to your different mediums. Another way of doing it is having a dedicated role for each medium. So you have one person who always sends the emails out, one person who always updates Facebook, another person who puts poster up in this particular village, and then it's just a matter of the content creators sending the communication out to the executive. And each one of the executives just picks it up and does their thing, whether it's sending the email out or updating the website or updating Facebook. Another topic is whether you want to approve or not approve everything. I know some associations, they need everything approved by the communication lead, or sometimes the entire executive has to approve it. My suggestion is to look at the content. If it's just a simple event, especially one that you do every year, in which case, you can probably just have one person put that event on your website without seeking approval. So it really is, how big is that communication? If it's a big thing about a new project, of course you want that approved. But if it's just a smaller blurb, an event, or maybe some content that you saw on another website and you just want to share it with your members, then those things probably don't need to approve. Approving everything can kind of slow things down and be a bit of a dissatisfier. And it might even go as far as to to make people think twice about sharing information. So you really want to have a good process that people will just quickly share things rather than not share them. So this is just kind of a high level communication strategy. Vital Volunteers does have a 5-page communication strategy document that we'd be happy to provide to everybody. That if you don't currently have a communication strategy, that document would certainly give you a head start, and you can edit it and make it your own. Other help that is available from Vital Volunteers is we have tools that make it easy to update your website for the stuff that changes dynamically all the time, like events, documents, latest news, those types of things. We can make it very easy for anybody on your executive to update that information on your website. Events, we have a calendar of events you can add to your website. Again, anybody on your executive can update it. And then we've created an event newsletter email. So you basically just go to a page, click it, I'll show you all the events. You just click the ones you want to include in your event newsletter email and click a few buttons, and it automatically creates an email with the events in the email, along with any poster for each event embedded in the email. So it looks very nice, easy to create, and easy to send out, so very fast. Emails, again, it's Vital Volunteers if you use that system. You never have to copy email addresses to an email distribution list. The email distribution list is created automatically in real time from your member list. So it's very easy to send out emails. You can also target specific sub lists on your email list. So if say members were interested in bird watching, for example, you could quickly pull up all the email addresses for all the people who said they were interested in bird watching. So that's a nice little feature. Facebook, yep, you want to add news and events to your website and Facebook. So we allow you to do that simultaneously. So when you're adding a news or event to your website, you can click a few extra buttons and add it to your Facebook page at the same time. Resource links, again, this is providing your members with a pool of information from other websites. There's no sense copying and pasting content into your website. So creating a pool of resource links is a very useful thing to your members. And we take it one step farther. If you're like an environmental group, we have a list of environmental links that any of our customers can add to. So it's not just your group adding environmental lists that you come across, but it's also your peer association groups also adding content, so you get the best of both worlds. Surveys are a great bi-directional tool. Vital Volunteers, our surveys are linked one-to-one to the membership record, so you could even use it for voting or petitions. It's not like a lot of the SurveyMonkey surveys that you see where it's just a link that everybody uses, and you could send that link to 20 of your friends and have them complete the survey. This is one-to-one. As soon as a member does the survey responses, nobody else can use that link. The link is individual. And we certainly recommend doing surveys at least once a year. As I said earlier, it's a great way to get your members involved, get their feedback, what are they thinking, and it helps to empower them, gives them that feeling that you really care about them and you value their opinion. Cell phone text, you wouldn't use that very often, but certainly if there was an emergency situation, it would be very handy. Or, if you often have events in the wintertime and, there's a snowstorm, all of a sudden there's a snowstorm or freezing rain, you could easily send out a text to everybody saying, oh, it's canceled, right? Okay, so those are just a very high level discussion on a communication strategy. As I said, we do have a 5-page communication strategy document that we're happy to provide. Just reach out. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.